Hello, everybody. It's me back again. And this is something that I've been, highly suggested to do for ages, so I wanted to get it over with. This is part 2 to What If Deku Was a Machine? And. Sorry about that, bit sick. But we will be continuing from pretty much the beginning of the entrance exam, and this one will be really, really cool. And this time he would go to see Uraraka, see how she was, but Ida wouldn't do anything, knowing that he has a good reason for it, and that his intelligence is much higher than his. And after the little chat, and President Mike began the countdown, Izuku would ready up right at the back. And the reason he readied up at the back was to give everyone else a head start, since, his capabilities are far superior than a normal human being's. And even All Might knew that. And so, as soon as he said go, Izuku waited a good 10 seconds. And as soon as that 10 seconds went, bang! A large bang went off as he blitzed throughout the place. But he didn't go too fast. He did it so to where it wouldn't harm anyone. But he quickly dispatched several robots, stealing some people's points but immediately apologizing afterwards, and going again and again and again. And he repeated this to the point where he got about 180, 190 points. But then, when he heard the scream, his HUD blinked. Well, not blinked, but beeped. And he looked around, and then a little minimap appeared, pinpointing the exact position. And he blitzed, dashing through buildings and walls. Well, actually, no, he just dashed through alleyways consistently, a streak of green. And he'd get to the point to where he'd get to the 0-pointer, and right as it was about to step on Uraraka, he pulled his arm back, and then as soon as he punched the robot's leg, it stumbled back. And this one's a little more advanced. This one's a little more humanoid, and that's what made it more terrifying. And it looked down at Izuku, marking him as a threat. And began to fight him. Well, trying to. And Izuku dodged left and right as much as he could. But after a while, managed to get to Uraraka, throw the rubble off of her, and picked her up. And the robot's fist came down on top of him. And he couldn't move. If he moved, he'd lose balance, and the ground underneath him began to crack. And Uraraka looked up at him, hearing his servos whirring. And after a while, he began changing. His body began manipulating itself as he thought to himself, I can't let this girl die. Then the green in his HUD turned to bright red. Obliteration mode initiated. And his arms changed, so did his entire body, looking to be more menacing, much more menacing. And he held a choker with one arm, lifting up the robot's leg. Then his some of the metal on his arm pulled back, revealing several hydraulics. And immediately he punched the leg of the robot repeatedly with that one arm, over and over and over, to the point where it flew up into the air a little. And he put Uraraka down, and his body split in half. Initializing cannon mode. Railgun denied. Initializing obliteration beam. This massive cannon coming out of his body, looking up at the robot. But instead, his body reformed, and his arms changed, kind of like Genos. And his arms began to glow. Target marked. Death rate 0. Firing cannon. Core charge. Error. Low power. He's warning, more power needed, more power needed. And he kicked his core into overdrive, overloading his systems to a degree. But then he fired. A concentrated laser at first coming out, but then it split into an even bigger one, the size of the Ultra Instinct Kamehameha that Goku did to Kefla. And this was amazing, as it engulfed the entire robot, blowing the roof of the plantation they were in right off. And the robot began melting down, but also blowing up. And a shield came out of Izuku's body, covering the people behind him to make sure they weren't getting hurt. And as the blast stopped, his arms returned to normal, his body also returning to normal. Warning. System low on power. Overload detected. Initiating emergency shutdown. And his core began wearing down. Shutting down over time. And as his body made the final readjustment to return to normal, he fell to his knees with a loud crack as the ground underneath let out. Then he fell to his chest. Systems offline. The glow in his eyes fading, then going to complete off. And it mainly May and the support team came down, rushing down. And his father also applied to UA, but as a support teacher, because of his company, and they were fine with that. And he came down as well, but as soon as they went to go touch him, he stopped them. Don't. His ally's too hot. And when they looked a little closer, there was a little bit of steam coming off. And that's when they realized that, oh shit, yeah, that ain't gonna go too well. So they immediately let him take care of it. As he took out a briefcase and put it on the ground, and it opened up, forming into a little bit of I guess you could say like modification station, kind of like a power armor station from Fallout. If you've ever seen those, I hope you have, because I'm really not interested in getting more than 2 images for this. God, coughing up a kidney. And so, and the chains came down. Little hooks appearing on Deku's shoulders as they hooked onto them, dragging him up. And they did heat up quite a bit, but they were able to sustain it. And what happened was, they began brittling, freezing. And a large was heard as Izuku's body was cooling down from the large amount of cold and the heat. And Izuku cracked open Izuku's chest. Well, not really cracked it open, more like just opened it with an override. And he had a look at the core. Everything internally was fine. He just had a little bit of an overload, and that he needed to upgrade Izuku's software. Upgrade him a little bit because, well, he kind of overloaded and pushed himself a little too far. And that is why. And he didn't really make the adjustments there, but he rebooted him, made sure he was cooled down, and he reactivated, as everyone was in shock by this. And Izuku looked a little twitch, and then looked up, then looked down at his hands, moving them a little bit with whirring, but then the whirring stopped, and he looked around a little. Then the chains let him go, and he was able to move freely. And his father said, "Oh, I really need to do some adjustments when we get home." And he says, "Sorry, father." He's like, "Well, you saved someone, so I won't scold you this time. But that was still damn well risky." And he said, Yeah, I get it. Sorry." And everyone gave a little smile, a little chuckle at the fact that they really seem human. Izuku really seemed like a normal human boy, and they found that adorable. They found that amazing but adorable. And Uraraka thanked him, repeatedly. And he said, "No, please, don't thank me. I was only doing what I thought was necessary. I wanted to protect you." And everyone was in shock as soon as they heard this. Wanted? That machine has free will? It can think for itself? Everyone was shocked by this fact, amazed, no, just mind-boggled. A machine that can think for itself, speak for itself, act like a human boy? That's shocking, but amazing. And don't mind me if I sound distracted right now, I'm just fixing my my zip on my jacket. But yeah, so after all that, and he went into Class 1A after that day. He was, of course, accepted, and it did go like in canon, with what All Might said and all that. And when he got there, everyone was just commenting and crowding on him about how cool he is, especially Kirishima, at the fact that he never thought a machine could be so damn awesome, besides from an anime. No, that is not a fourth wall break, by the way. And so, everyone was amazed, but they were also pretty shocked about it. But Izuku was a treasure to them. He was an absolute treasure, he was a darling, and they loved him. But then Aizawa came in. He didn't stop them, because he's like, it's good to see them bonding, especially with something that isn't human. And so after a while, when they quieted down a little, he did of course stop them. And Aizawa, he's people don't misunderstand him, but he's actually a pretty nice guy. He really, really is. So, everyone being amazed by this machine and everything, and Aizawa of course did include him, and he got 25 kilometers on his on the ball throw, which everyone was fucking shocked. 25 kilometers, and which he was tied with he was second place in that because of Uraraka, who of course got infinity like in canon. And he broke the strength test machine. He beat everyone in the speed test and the strength test, intelligence test. He trumped everyone. So he pretty much got first place in every single thing with inhuman results. Besides ball throw, which was still inhuman. But because of Uraraka, yeah. And everyone was shocked, everyone was surprised by him. And I will go into USJ in this, just for the sake of it. Of course, why not? Oh, why bloody not? And so everyone's asking what his abilities are, what combat systems does he have, because I know of course he doesn't have a quirk, and he says, shh, that you will have to find out on another time. And they're like, oh damn, a robot with an actual sense of with an actual ability of common sense. And when they got to USJ, Izuku knew right before the villains entered that something was not right. He could sense something, he could detect something that wasn't meant to happen. And he mentioned it to Aizawa, and right as he did, that is when the portal opened. And Izuku looked down and scanned all of their faces, saying that they were all villains, every single one of them, but it was also the League of Villains that were there. Only 2 members of the League of Villains, however. Tomura Shigaraki, the grandson of All Might's former master. No, I'm not talking about Gran Torino. You will have to see the final episode of the previous season, besides season 4, of My Hero Academia. I'm pretty sure season 3, when All Might is fighting all for one, that is when you will find that out. And so, they're all shocked by this, especially Aizawa, but he goes down with Aizawa and fights with him, knowing that Izuku will be a great fighting person to have when fighting villains. And, I may or may not have forgotten Portal Dude's name. I'm sorry, I really, really am. But I may or may not have forgotten his name. But what happens is he attempts to teleport him away, and he does, but Izuku gets back there pretty fucking quick. And he manages to stop the Nomu really quick as well, because when he's fighting him, he notices that the brain is exposed, and that it's possibly he even says so to the villains. He says, "That is the biggest flaw I have ever seen in an artificial creation. How pitiful." And he raises his hand, turns it into a literal 18 Warthog Vulcan gun, and all they hear is and its head just gets mowed. It is quite literally cheese. Literally Swiss cheese. And the Numu drops dead. Then he's sort of like Reaper from Black Ops 3. how he just looks like a normal robotic soldier, but then his arm turns into a fucking minigun. That is what happened. But yeah, so this is what happens, and it's surprising to them. Really surprising, but also really funny. Like to Aizawa, who, of course, knows that the villains are screwed. So they subdue the villains really quickly. Izuku goes to help Suyu and Kendo. Because Kendo is not in Kendo is in 1A this time, because Mineta got kicked out. I'm saying this now, I'm sorry, Mineta got kicked out. I know, in the one of Deku was Kakashi, I did not kick him out, but in this one I'm just like, why not? Kick him out, may as well. So, everyone being shocked and surprised by this, at the fact that his efficiency is over the top, which of course Shigaraki and Portal Dude literally just leave straight after he deals with the Nobu, and so they arrest all the villains and everything. And that goes extremely well for everyone. And after he went home, right before the USJ, sorry I didn't mention this before I did the USJ, but he did get a few more enhancements. He was quicker, he responded faster, he's able to put more output in his abilities, because remember, you know what happened when he was dealing with the giant fucking zero-pointer. He had a little bit of an oopsie. But yeah, so this Izuku is probably... he's not going to be the most powerful. He's not going to be the most powerful Izuku that I will have, and he's not going to be the most powerful character I will have. OC-wise, I'm telling you now, ladies and gents, he doesn't even come close to the most powerful character I have. Trust me. But yeah, so how that goes, all the heroes get there, all the heroes, they don't actually get, called in, and that's because of Izuku. They have a literal war machine with them, so yeah, that happens. And by the way, I hope I don't sound British this time, sound like a stereotypical Britishman in his 30s. I got a few comments on that, and yes, I did smirk and I did laugh at that. If I'm making my day with those comments, I laughed at that, because in real life I do tend to get quite British at the most random times, and my friends cannot take me seriously when I either go British or I go Scottish. So, yeah. So everything's pretty cool with Izuku and all that. Everyone loves Izuku. Everyone loves him. He's the favorite. He's the favorite of the teachers, but all the teachers still like other students as well. It's mainly because Izuku is so cute. It's just he's so funny and cute to other people. But that's quite literally. That is quite literally Izuku in a nutshell. A cute, glorified war machine that acts like a human being, and that acts innocent until he gets pushed beyond his limits. Until he enters obliteration mode, everything else will be destroyed in an instant. But when he does go obliteration mode, just all you can do is run. All you can do is just run. That's it. You can just run. There's no escaping it. Unless you somehow have a teleportation quirk, you can't run. You cannot run from him. It's literally mission impossible to run from him. Like, unless you can run at the speed of, like, the speed of sound and higher, or all that, like All Might can, you can't get away with him. You just can't. And so, yeah, he's very efficient. But he doesn't kill. He never kills unless he absolutely has to. And that's the only time he will. And alright, Mei Hatsume and Izuku Midoriya. How that goes, they have the most funny relationship. So, Mei Hatsume, being the funny person she had, when the door blows open, he actually doesn't fall back. He's just like, If you remember Bakugo and Todoroki during the camp, that's sort of like that's the sort of sound he makes when the door bursts open. He's like, oh. And so when Mei goes up against him, he's like, oh, Zuko! Like, what is this metal? This doesn't feel like anything I've felt before. He's like, it's an artificial metal. He's like, woo! And she takes him inside, of course, and the support teacher's just like, he's like, oh, dear God, Zuko, I feel so bad. But yeah, she couldn't even get close to figuring out how to take him apart. She tried everything in there, and she couldn't even get a single panel off. And she couldn't see any screws or anything. All the screws are internal. But, like, so, like, with joints, he doesn't use screws, he uses pivots. So, like, when he's, like, rotating his arm or something, the screw doesn't come out and completely mess up his arm. And that's what makes him so advanced, as well as all the other stuff. And, yeah. So, that is the funny part between them. Mei is always trying, always failing, and she gets super tsundere about this as well. Super zun. And that's the funny thing about it, because she's so insistent, but fails all the time. But yeah, that happens. That's what happens. And so that's the cool thing. We have about like a minute or two left on this, so may as well just talk a little bit. So, because I don't want to overdo it. I kind of want to make this what if a thing that's up to the people's suggestions of what they want with Deku, what sort of person do they want him to be, etc., etc. And so, yeah, and there's a bug on my TV. And so, with this Deku, I have a few more what ifs in the works. Like, what if Tatsumi joined Esdith? And what if I was in High School DxD? Those are the what ifs that I am currently working on, but I will mainly do part 2s of what I am working on now, or I will do one more new one, and that is it. But, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this long waited for what if. I hope you like this all. It was really a joy to make. It's like, oh, I'm so damn tired, so I'm just like, ugh. I'm like, okay, alright, yeah, I'll make it, may as well get it over with. But yeah, so I only have like 27, yeah, so since I don't have much time left, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a wonderful day and afternoon. You will get this video shortly, and I hope you enjoy it in general. You guys are amazing. I love you all for the wonderful support you've given me. Goodbye. Rest well. All I can say, in complete honesty.